This is Operation B, the podcast about living with intention, building what feels true, and dropping the things that don't. A place where purpose meets practice. I'm Jamie Thurber, your host, and together we'll explore how to live with clarity, freedom, and alignment without burning out or losing yourself, because it's time to be who you're meant to be. Let's get into it. This episode of Operation B is brought to you by Premium Kitchen and Bath. Visit premiumkb.com. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Operation B. Thanks for being here with me where purpose meets practice. I'm your host, Jamie Thurber, and we are going to get into it straight away today and talk about something that I am definitely guilty of. I'm assuming that means a lot of you are guilty of it as well, because we're humans, and it doesn't matter how much business you've done, how much success you've had, how much failure you've had, how great you are. Doesn't matter. We're still a human being, and our mind, a lot of times, especially people who watch this show, our mind a lot of times likes to go and create these rules or ways or things that we think we have to do in order to get to the other side that are often not even real, right? So it's a trap. It's a trap. I was working on a program for myself and for my businesses. For those of you who are new here, real quick, my name is Jamie Thurber. I have been a coach and consultant for small business owners for almost 15 years now, but I've been managing and doing project management and operations for businesses for 20 years. Believe it or not. Yeah, 20 years. Whew. Anyway, I had lots of experience in branding and marketing. I work with lots of small business owners. I am the CEO of a small media house. So we create video and audio podcasts as well as marketing materials for businesses. And then we also have a company called Bare Knuckle Barbecue, which is a promotional and barbecue sauce company, as well as a membership group. And there's a podcast coming for that and lots more things. I also have been the owner of Posh Promotions for 15 years, where we help businesses and public-facing individuals. So whether that's athletes, influencers, anybody that their life is being seen, their personality is being seen and being used as a tool for them in a productive way, we help them make sure that the way that they're showing up is exactly how they want to be seen. So lots of experience over here, right? So imagine, oh, and on top of that, I have been dealing with it's about 20-something year chronic illness that is undiagnosed still. So yeah, put all of that on top of regular life, having a house, being engaged, having dogs, having a family, having parents that are aging, having nieces and nephews, having a brother and a sister-in-law, having friends. Like, life can be a lot. It just can. So when I was recently going through this program thinking, okay, what do I need to do to get out of my current situation? So to be completely raw with you, my current situation is two of my companies that I did not intentionally walk into them. One of them, when I bought in, very quickly realized that there was a ton of fraud, that I was sold up the fucking river, a bunch of lies. So I had to make a decision. Do I stay and fix this and figure it out? We got that guy that was the fraud person out, or I wouldn't have even questioned that, or stay. So I stayed and have been rebuilding it, and it's going well, but it's not paying me. So that's a reality, right? And then the barbecue sauce company, same. Somebody started it and I could see where it was going. It was starting to get legs. It needed guidance. It needed somebody to take it and run with it. And the players trust me to do that. So I did. And again, it's a brand new startup. Like, it's generating money. So I'm sitting in this place of having my own show, my own businesses, 5 companies, all these things. No life really at all right now. Feeling like crap a lot lately. I will say I felt better the last 5 days or so. Shout out to Dr. Olivia Joseph from the Wellness Connection. She's brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So I'm sitting in this moment going, holy shit, I got to figure out what's the way to get me to the other side of the current space I'm in, because things are growing, but they're heavy. And I'm kind of limited on what I can hire out for help at the moment. I've kind of reached my max, and I'm just trying to figure out the next best thing. Right. So as I'm inputting all this stuff into this program, it spits back out at me to focus on this one particular leg of the company, which I agree is one of the companies, is a really good idea. It is the ability, it's a very streamlined way for me to get help, pay a couple team members better, pay myself, really expand. Just that one leg has the ability to do that. And so the goal is set for me of focusing on this until I get to that dollar amount that allows that project to start. And then we'll talk about what's the next steps, right? As far as what's the next place for me to put my attention. So I felt really positive about that. And then I go about my day and I come back to the program and I'm like, wait, what about my health? Like, I really need to up this. I've been dealing with chronic constipation, which has like shut down my life for a few months. It's been hell. Like, I need to increase these things, blah, 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 blah. So I go into the program and I'm saying all these things. And their program's like, yeah, that's not false. And you can't run 5 races at the same time. And I was like, holy shit. Because if you're running 5 races at the same time, guys, that means you're going to finish none of them. How many? Whoa, like, it's okay if you just felt like I verbally assaulted you. If you're running 5 races at the same time, you're never going to finish all of them. And then you're going to burn out, most likely. So that is my cycle. So I was like, well, fuck me running. You're not wrong. Here we go. So what do you do instead? You focus on something that you can create real momentum in. And what do I mean when I say real momentum? I mean things that can move forward, not just your daily management, answer the message, call the person, did the show get posted? Did you respond to the client? Like, did you go to the bank? Like those things? No. What are the needle moving activities? So when I say needle moving activities, I mean what generates direct, disproportionate impact on your primary goal. You start there. You start there. You start there. What is something that you can do that is generating movement towards the thing that you want? Whether it's a phone call, an email, researching companies that you can speak to about the problem that you have. It's basically like what happens sometimes, I think, is we identify a problem, we identify a goal or a problem, whichever one it may be. Sometimes we have the goal and then there's a problem in the middle that we have to figure out how to like leap over or plow through or whatever to get to the goal. And when we do that, we forget that after a couple of days of focusing on it, yes, there are other things to do. And you have to be able to get to a place where you can operate, where you're doing the day-to-day things and being able to hyper-focus in on the real momentum until you reach the thing. I used to think hot tubs were just for fancy vacations or luxury houses. But then I met Angie at Spas and More, this family-owned and operated business right here in St. Louis. She showed me how these master spas aren't just luxurious, they're about wellness. I actually got to try one out in their showroom, and it made me realize how much better I feel after a soak. If you want to experience what actually fits your lifestyle, go see Angie and her team in Sunset Hills. It's like test driving your own wellness. Visit Spas and More in Sunset Hills or online at spasandmorestl.com. So the reason that this is so important, and the reason I want to share this with you, this is so important for me, is because that path I have right now that I'm hyper-focused on, that one race that I'm running, that race will clear up a lot of room for a lot of things. It will allow me room for what I need to do for my health more intentionally, right? Not to fit it in, not to half-ass it, not to hurt myself because of it, not to make myself feel like shit because I didn't do enough. Like, none of that. This is not the same conversation, right? So it's the ability to move forward in a direction that you know is going to get you closer to all of your other goals as well. So this one path is going to get me to the other side and allow me to have more room to do the other things, to add a little bit more in to the focus points for goals. But also the truth is, especially with somebody like me, and I think a lot of you who watch this show, you have a lot of viewers, you have a lot of goals or a lot of like multifaceted passions and things that you're doing. And we oftentimes wonder why we can't get things accomplished or why we can't get to the next step. And it's because we don't slow down enough to realize that. Now, granted, some of this creates or requires like forethought and a foundation, which we've talked about in depth before, is when you have that foundation, you have the ability to know that this isn't really going to like burn down or catch on fire if you give it just the attention that it needs, but you're focusing hard on this other thing. Because sometimes you have to give and take, right? Like this focus point all that will do is what's the word? It's like fertilizing. That's it. Fertilizing this over here so that it can grow. And so I think that today's episode is really going to be short and sweet because I feel like it's wildly important that we recognize that we put ourselves in a trick bag so frequently because we try to run 5 races with 2 sets of feet. 5 races at the same time with 2 sets of feet. Or you can say, do 5 races in one car at the same time. Not possible, right? You can't be on multiple tracks with the same physical vehicle at the same time. So why do we think that we're supposed to get across that finish line and do fucking good at it and make, set records and look amazing and do amazing? Why do we think that that's the expectation when we're trying to simultaneously run 5 races with only 2 feet? It's physically impossible to do that. So we set ourselves up for so much failure because it's a trap. It's a mental trap. It's a confidence trap. It's a time trap. And that's why so many people stay stuck. And this is why I'm such an advocate for having a coach or a mentor that you can talk to, because a lot of times, even myself, who's been coaching for a very long time, those things, I need to hear it. Right? I need to hear it. I need the reminder. I need somebody to point it out because we're in our own world so often. So I want you to remember that you're not an island. I want you to remember that it's not a good idea to try to do it all by yourself. You definitely need to find a sounding board, and not a sounding board that's designed to just tell you what you want to hear. Like some of your friends might just tell you what you want to hear. A lot of AI will just tell you what you want to hear. So unless you're programming a robot or a tool to tell you the truth and pick all of your ideas apart and be very brutally honest with you, it's going to tell you what you want to hear. It's something I run into a lot with Tony. He was he was 42 years old when we met, 43. And I realized that prior to our relationship, not a lot of people told him the truth. Like people didn't speak up to him when he sounded like an idiot or did something wrong. They just didn't. And so he had a lot of yes men around him. And it's a very common thing to happen, especially for people who hold power or command a room or that run companies or do the things like we do, guys. And so I want you to know that you do need a sounding board who's willing to be honest with you. It is a priceless tool that will help you continue to get to the next steps and the next steps of what you're wanting to build without beating yourself up so much. So I am super grateful for that. Let me know if you have any questions about this. This is something, so just the program that I'm talking about that I've started using is the Operator Standard. It was designed by Andy Frisella, who is the founder of First Form and Supplement Superstore. If you're not familiar, they're massive brands and companies, also 75 Hard. So 75 Hard, the transformation challenge, all those things, right? So the dude's changing the world, and he took AI and he spent years turning it into something that actually builds excellence in you instead of dependency. And I went to an event last weekend, listening to him talking about it. And I had not used the program yet. I just knew Andy's a great speaker. So the opportunity to see and hear him, I knew was going to be beneficial. So I went and I heard all about this program and why it was built and what it's capable of. And it's something that I wish that I would have been able to do. I think every coach I know has talked about a way to come up with something. But the difference is something like this. But the difference is this has a guy who's genuinely built from the ground up a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Who's also still just a regular dude who also respects the shit out of people and believes in being a good person and having good work ethic. and in winning by personal excellence and by taking responsibility for yourself. So I'm excited about the program. You can check it out if you'd like. It's actually priced extremely reasonably, in my opinion. I'm sure the price will go up at some point, but just type in, you can go to andyfrisella.com or the operator standard and locate that for yourself. But that's the program I'm referring to. And I don't want to gatekeep, friends. Be sure that you like, follow, subscribe wherever it is that you're listening or watching. And if you liked this episode and think that someone else could benefit from it, make sure that you share that on over to them and let them know that this can help change their lives as well. See ya. Thank you for listening to Operation B, the podcast. To support this message and to support the show, please make sure that you like, follow, and share wherever you enjoy listening. And be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. That's the way to support this message. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.